to The Hero Next Door, the show in which we bring you true stories of people who are ordinary, but who do extraordinary things, or people who have gone through a lot of hardships and have still made it to achieve greatness in life. And in today's show, we bring you the amazing story of Mr. Charles Masharia.
For the ones who are not playing the game, you can watch, and then I'll be able to give you more games later. Is that okay?
Mr. Masharia moves across schools in this country, helping students to learn and helping kids to understand concepts and converting into games concepts that will be difficult for them to get so that they can play through those concepts and understand them.
He was jealous.
So go 3 stamps.
Charles Masharia is a very young man. I look old, but I was born in Kenya.
Very young? Did you say very young?
Yeah, I got some white hair, but I think I love working with children, so I grow younger.
True.
So I was born in Nairobi, brought up in Nairobi. My life has been just many challenges, but I thank God that today I'm here. I went up in public schools. I was brought up in a very simple life. My dad wasn't able to make me to a very good posh school. In Jamhuri Primary School, that's where I went to. Then I went to a public school that is Pumwani Secondary School. Yeah. Okay. We struggled through that secondary school and finished. And well, I proceeded on and I just took myself to school and did my diplomas and degree. So Masharia is just a young man who is trying to develop others to become better than what they are. I had a passion to work with children in the beginning, and I was thinking how I'm going to work with children, and I thought, what can I do? I went to a CBO, worked as a community mobilizer, doing programs in different communities. I decided to do social work as part of what is working in the community, and I passed very well on it. And then I decided, what else can I do for my life? Because I love children. So I decided to do something else in community development.
So before you got into the foundation, where you help students or young people understand concepts, did you work anywhere else before?
Yes, I did. I've worked with quite a number of international organizations. I've worked with World Vision, worked with Compassion International. But after going through training as a peer educator, I worked with USAID. It's something called, they're doing about Chill Club. I was working that on teaching children about abstinence.
Okay.
Then I developed that concept and I worked with Families Matter, teaching parents on family parenting skills as a package of what I give.
Okay.
Yes, I've worked with quite a number of international organizations and I've acquired a lot of experience and a lot of skills, and that's what I'm putting all together to MASH and make it better and more effective.
Now, what does MASH stand for and what does it do?
MASH is a very interesting organization because its work is to motivate. Initially, MASH stands for Motivation, Aid, and Social Help. So you motivate students and give them aid to become someone, and also give social in terms of, we do a bit of sponsorship sometimes, and we do a little bit of mentorship for students in high school. And then we just give help where we can, and linking help to the students.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before you go into what MASH does, why did you think of motivation and giving aid? What motivated you to coming up with the core activities, or the core values, the core principles out of which MASH is founded?
Well, everything starts in the home. I had a very good dad, very good mentor in my life, and he's always been there for me to help me to get to where I am. Motivates me, to inspire me a lot. And I thought that as a strong point for me. Having been given all that, I felt like I also have to give back. And the only way I could give back is maybe speaking to the students or speaking to the high school students and motivating them, telling them that they can be able to make it, because that is what made me to become who I am today.
So you basically did a program that you supply, or if you like, provide what was missing in the schools when you are going to school.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, because I didn't get to see that being packaged very well. So I'm packaging that right now in MASH Foundation and using the board games, using the puppets, and make the student be able to apply what they learned in terms of the lessons and the motivation lessons that we teach.
And indeed, that's groundbreaking. So how did it get started, and what did you do?
It's an interesting way because it started as a sponsorship program with a friend of mine called Hamish Jackson from UK. We met 7 years down the line. So he started sponsoring one person, and I told him, well, my passion is not only sponsoring. I have a passion for children, to be able to mentor them. And he was like, okay, what you do, register a charity organization in Kenya. So when I'm in UK, I can be able to source for support and everything. So we did that 2009, and MASH became a charity organization registered under Kenyan laws. So from then I was able to come up with manuals, and the Ministry of Education was able to go through them, and they approved of a manual to go to schools and teach on the mentorship programs. So after that, I've just been developing MASH, other programs, entrepreneurship, parenting skills, and other programs that come along with MASH Foundation. So it's been a process. You find one time you've met one objective, but there's something else crops up, and you're able to meet that other objective. So it keeps on developing like that. So you have quite a variety of programs that you do in MASH from the beginning.
At that point when you started, what exactly did the Ministry of Education approve?
Ministry of Education approved our topics that we teach, because I was teaching on about values, teaching about drug abuse, teaching about self-esteem, all those basic topics that are incorporated in the KIE manual. But now I did it in a different way to add more games into it. And they were like, that's a good innovative idea. So that's what they approved the first step. So we did a pilot with the drug abuse program, worked out very well, and it was very, very impactful. So the next time is when we developed another concept of time management and helping children to become more having capacity to do revision. So we came up with other games like Achievers Plus. We came up with games about Bible lessons and everything. So it's been a process, as I'm saying. So until where we are, the next innovative activity that you've done for MASH Foundation is to use puppets to be able to speak these motivation topics. So after doing a lecture, we have games, outdoor games, teach the lesson, and then we bring the children together. That is what I used to miss. And then have like a small puppet show for the children. They're like, but at the same time they learn something. So that sticks in their mind. So that's something I've really been seeing, and I'm going out in the field. It's not just a lesson. 1 year after the line, you come and ask the students what have they learned. They can remember the puppet, they can remember the game, and I bring the lesson back to them.
So what schools do you deal with? Do you deal with primary schools? Do you deal with pre-primary schools? Do you deal with secondary schools? Do you deal with universities and colleges? What schools do you deal with?
Yeah, we started with primary schools in the beginning. That is the upper class from 7 years going up. But I also got a challenge for the kindergarten. And that's why I came up with the puppets, to speak to the kindergartens. As low as 4 years, I can speak to them, any topic, talk about self-esteem, package it for them. So we do the kindergarten, primary level, and then we do secondary. For the university students, what you do with them, we mentor them in terms of skills, in terms of teaching their lessons, and then we now give them certificates for having applied what they have learned. So we just do like a lot of mentorship for the university, but for the students in primary, secondary, we do a lot of lessons for them.
I know there are claims that our study is losing values. And sometimes one is tempted to think that's the case when you look at how adults, politicians, professionals, everyone is behaving. What values do you teach?
My first topic everywhere I go, I teach on values. And you say values are things that are important to us. So we ask the students, what is important to you? And we teach them about abstinence, teach them about knowing themselves.
When you say abstinence, do you mean abstinence?
Abstinence from sex.
From sex.
Yes, from sex. We teach them about abstinence from drugs. But the most important is something they value from, something that is going to benefit their life. So we ask them, where have you learned these values from? Because they never told you, they have to know that the values they have will determine their behaviors. So you see a behavior in a particular way, we know the value you have is not good. And you have this motto in our clubs. You have clubs that are started in schools. You have this club motto, we say, good values, good life. Bad values, bad life.
Good values,
Good life.
good values.
Good life.
Hey, Rita should come, Basi.
What values are these I have? Is it about education? Do I value education? Do I value abstinence from sex? Do I value staying away from drugs? All these are good values that I need to have. And if I put these values for myself, then my behavior will be like this, positive. And about that is when they grow up, they know people don't like me because of the value I have. So I need to change the value in me first, and then my behaviors will change. So that's how we're trying to put ourselves into teaching them. Yeah.
So the way you approach values kind of encompasses everything else that you try to do in terms of drug addiction, concentration in class. So the values kind of is kind of a gateway, kind of a philosophy before you engage in the other teachings.
Yes. So value becomes a key point because we take to talk to them about what is important. Then if they value it, have moral value and have that kind of importance, that value particularly is, then it will definitely be portrayed on how they behave. So ours is just target the person inside, and then the rest will follow. The outside will follow. But if you start with the outside and start beating them and not changing the inside, then nothing happens.
In MASH Foundation, I have learned that using drugs can lead to hallucination. In MASH Foundation, I've learned that use of drugs can affect you economically. Drug abuse can affect your health, your community, and your parents.
You talk about caning, which is very popular with both our parents and the schools, and there are constant struggles with teachers and law, because I think teachers are used to caning. What is your take on the caning vis-a-vis the values that you're talking about?
I think I go back to my dad. My dad used to cane us thorough, but at some point he decided to change his routine and to speak to us. Speaking was more impactful, more than the beating, because it could stick more. You could feel, he would deny you some, you don't even do the caning, he just deny you something, like maybe watching TV cartoon or whatever it is. But at that point he'll be able to speak to you and tell them denying this. So it really worked in us. That's what I'm saying. Practically it worked in us, teaching and speaking to the students, speaking to other children in the house. So I said, let me speak to the children. The beating comes to an end as a point of beating, but there's a part of talking which is important, and it's a two-way. If they don't understand exactly what you're beating them for, and they don't value what you're beating them for, then you become a sideshow. Like we're just getting beaten every now and then. So the concept is speak to the person, speak to the child, let them also express themselves. Why am I doing this? Maybe they're doing it because they want attention. Sometimes we used to do that. Another do beat us and you feel like, we'll do the same mistake. But when you start speaking to us, we changed our characters. And I'm here because of him speaking to us, the Aina Masharia. And that's where I am today.
There's an argument, there's a philosophy that says that people who use force can use reasoning. So do you think the caning is a very easy shortcut for teachers and parents? Instead of addressing the problem, they just want to inflict pain, or what you call negative reinforcement. Do you think that it's a shortcut instead of addressing the problem? That in fact you're not addressing the problem by caning, resorting to caning, that we are actually avoiding to deal with the problem in terms of talking, taking time to build the values, taking time to build the people, the students, or is it someone's kids? Is that what you feel?
I think it's a shortcut. Everybody wants a shortcut, but shortcuts are not good because they end up getting short. So we'd rather do a long shot, a long cut, and then the outcome will be much better. So the caning is not something I'd advocate for.
Shortcut.
Yeah.
Well, indeed, I think I agree with you. We are taking a short break here at the Hero Next Door at KUTV. We have heard of how Charles Macharia started working for several non-government organizations and international corporations, and how that motivated him to start working in schools, secondary schools, primary schools, and universities and other institutions, motivating students, providing aids to help them understand concepts, and where he is today. When we come back, we are going to hear how he has gone through it much more deeply and what his future plans are. Please keep watching KUTV. If you're just joining us, you're watching The Hero Next Door here at KUTV. And today's program, we are talking to Mr. Charles Macharia, the founder and director of MASH Foundation, which deals with helping students in primary and high schools and universities understand concepts, and also that instills values to those students. Welcome back.
Thanks, sir.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
So we left off where we were talking about caning as a shortcut to instilling values. Now, so let's move on from there. So you discovered that your concepts were for primary school students and above. So you came up with the puppets for younger kids. So how do you use puppets?
What I do with these ones, I realize that after a lesson, the students are bored or something, they have something that is interesting them. So I bring up these interesting puppets of mine. I made them, I sew them with my hands and be able to use recycled materials. So I use them to be able to speak a concept, maybe about drug abuse. For example, right now he's teaching class 8. He just come from class 8. Hi, my name is Mr. David. Hi. How about you, Professor? Say hi to him. Nice. So I teach the children on drug abuse and also teach children about good values. Do you have good values? Yes. Charles? Yeah, I have good values. So he's a very interesting character because I have 3 different characters. One talks about drug abuse, one takes drugs, and then at the end of it all, just a small storyline, but it captures the mind of the children.
Mazee hujanipata nini kwa exam? Niambie? Mpaka naona aibu kuambia. Waambie tu. Mazee drugs ipo, si ndio? Waambie tu. Drugs ipo, si ndio? Mazee nilianguka mtihani. Aje? Nilipata ki F. Nilipata ki F. Sasa mazee nikafukuzwa home. Nikafanya mazee drug ikafanya niuze vitu za nyumbani. Mazangu akanifukuza. Lakini Rita best yangu alinisaidia. Hebu tumpige makofi. Rita best yangu.
I'm also teaching parents using this. I do family matters and do a program on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how effective have those puppets been to the audiences that you have?
The audience are awesome. They're so awesome because by the end of it all, they give...
you hold him like a baby.
He's my baby. He's my baby. He's really been a very good boy. So the concept is like they respond very well because they get excited. At the same time, they learn a lesson. So to me, it really puts value to what I do. And I go to schools and some schools call me for training and they pay me for this service. Some of them pay me, some of them don't. But ideally speaking, they have a very good retention of information using the puppets. Yeah, after the lesson, that is. Yeah, and then I use the other games.
Yes. How do these games work?
Like this one is about dangers of drug abuse.
Okay.
And I'm trying to teach the children about dangers of drug abuse and using the concept of snakes and ladder. So snakes and ladder is like every bad thing, they're soloed down. Every good thing, they go up. So like this one, avoiding peer pressure, which is something the students go through. So they climb up the ladder. Good teaching your friends about dangers of drug abuse, they move up the ladder. So the concept is the same way. All the positive, they climb up the ladder. All the negative things, they go down the ladder. So this one they play at their own leisure time, and it also enhances a little bit of retention of information because they keep on repeating the information. So they play and learn that. So it can be played around 10 people to 15 per time. So it's a very interesting concept. This was our first game. And then we came up with other games on teaching on revision skills, teaching on safety, and then the church concept of Bible Ludo game, teaching on Bible stories, but the same thing, on dangers of drug abuse. Yeah.
So what do you think is the role that parents have in terms of influencing their children? Because we have a problem now, Mr. Masharia, where most parents are just providing the school fees and the food, but they are out there making money. So they have almost no time to influence their children.
I think there's one thing I've learned about my dad. He never neglected us. And that's something I'm really pushing forward to parents to do. I mean, it's good to earn money. It's good to look for everything for a child. But at the end of it all, if you don't develop a child, you don't speak to your child, it's going to be a disaster. I saw a story somewhere. A parent had bought took this girl to a very good school and very good university, bought the girl a very good car. But the girl refused the car. It was a very expensive car. Because she was like, I'd rather not have the car if I don't know my dad or my parent. So I thought I need to develop that even in other parents. And I've been doing that through a program called Families Matter. And I'm doing that, speaking to parents in schools and churches. Recently I was in a place where I had 100 parents. And they were like, I think there's something you're missing out as parents.
Do you think the 844 system is uncreative? That it denies the child the chance to interact with puppets and all those things. So you have to do that outside class after they have had their lesson.
I discovered there's a point where children need to apply what they've learned. And that's what I'm doing in Marsh Foundation. So we're having this program we call Mema Club, going to schools, and the students be able to, after teaching a lesson on time management, can they be able to write a story or a poem or something to express they've learned something?
It is not good to abuse drugs. What else have you learned? Tom helped Rita to go to a rehab.
And recently I've been awarding certificates to students who have been able to do that.
Now, there are some young people there out there, Charles, like you have a degree, but they have a passion for something maybe different from their degree, and they're still waiting for employment. What do you think is happening, and what do you think they should do?
I think everybody has to have a passion. If you have a passion, or basically if you don't have a passion or a focus in life, what you want to do, you'll definitely be sitting and waiting. I was in that position and I decided to be a difference because I have a talent. As I said, I'm an artist, and I decided to be able to come up with creative materials. Like games and everything and learn from that. But the youth need to be challenged to be able to know they have a potential. And that's what my dad used to tell me, have a potential. Mash, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. So I was like, if I can't do it, how can I do it? No, it's not, I can't do it. How can I be able to do that I've been told I can do? So I search yourself, look for something that you're able to do. And it really worked for me. Me coming up with these puppets, and I'm called for a session and they see everybody's doing the same thing, talking about mentorship and everything. But Charles, you're different. As a youth, you're like, we want your puppets, come and use your puppets. And they're like, I get the business.
Good.
Yeah.
Charles is a successful, maybe educationist or maybe para-educationist. Has Charles been successful in his social life? Is Charles single? Is Charles double? Is Charles dating? Why is Charles in that regard? Who like to know that?
Well, married, I got one wife, she called Tina. I have two lovely daughters, that is Clemmy, who is 5 years, and I've got another one called Niela, she's 2 years and some months. She also looks up at dad and she follows what dad is doing. And I always like it when she comes and asks, Daddy, you're talking to other children, you're not talking to me. I'm like, no, let's sit and talk.
I would like to talk to those people who are out there who have a talent or some passion and tell them how to get started, how to get fired up and start.
Everybody has a chance to do something in someone's life. So wherever you are in your office, think of something you can do. It could be just going and smiling and shaking someone's hand and telling them you can do it. If you can't do that, then you can look for organizations that are doing maybe like us, we are doing school programs. Come and join in as a mentor and speak to the students there and tell them they can become like you, maybe an accountant or something. The last challenge will be like, if you're able to look for time, go to schools and sponsor maybe some students. That's part of doing something for the community and helping the students. And the last one will be, look us up and see what you have and support what you're doing.
You work with teachers, Charles, and you have seen, maybe I'm sure as you interact with the children and teachers, you have seen some of the areas the teachers maybe could use different approaches. Talk to those teachers on the camera and tell them what you think they can do to enrich their lessons and make it more interesting for their learners.
I know you're teaching very well and I'm very grateful and I'm a product of you teaching, but at the same time I'd like to challenge you to make your class more interactive, more participatory. You can ask us to come into your school and train you how to do that. You've done that to other teachers. You can make creative activities in your class. If it's mathematics, which is boring, think of creative things that you can do to make it more interesting. And also be energetic. Don't come to a class when you're so docile. Have some interaction with your students. Get to know them better. Just don't be a teacher of English. Go beyond the English and become a friend to the students.
We have to end the show because we're running out of time. But I needed to talk to the parents because you're a parent yourself and you're a product of your dad's work. I would like you to face the camera and talk to the parents on what do you think they can do to instill the values to their children.
I'd like to challenge you to be able to open up to your children, speak to them, let them be able to become friends to you. Let you not be only a provider, but also a good friend to them. Because if we make that bonding with them, definitely things will change. And you've been using a lot of different ways of punishing a child and it's not working. There must be a way that the child is going to listen. So we can also seek for help from outside, maybe from counselors, or maybe look for a friend who is able to speak to your child effectively, because the child is yours, and at the end of it all, it's going to be your responsibility.
Bad values? Bad life! Good values? Good life!
So you have heard the story of Charles Machario. You may be out there. Maybe you can make puppets. Maybe there's something you can do. Charles can make puppets. Maybe you can do something. You can do something maybe to touch the lives of the children in your neighborhood, children in schools, or other people in the community. Do not just sit there. I hope today you have been inspired and motivated by what Charles is doing. And until next week, when we bring you yet another hero, I have been your host, Paul Mukundi. Please keep watching KUTV.